Yeah, so guys, finally we have done two analysis. Initially was the exploitative analysis, and second, then we created the pivot tables for understanding which is your best performer, which is your worst performer, which channel is performing the best, which channel is not performing. And then we understood that there were two variables, page reviews and time on site, which kind of gave us an insight that a user who is curious, who is trying to look more, is giving you higher transaction, right? So to further establish our case, we need to find out the causation between these variables, right? So we'll go back to our data sheet, and we will try to find linkages that can establish relationship between time on site, page views, and transactional revenue, right? Which is the most important significant factor in this data, the monetary value of the user. So to find out the causation, we normally initially do correlation. You can easily do it through formula, that is correl, and then take all the values in the transactional column, comma, and then you can go back to the page views. So we'll do first for the page views and then for the time on site. So this is not giving us the answer because the columns are not same. So make sure that the number of rows are matching, right? So this is not matching at all. So we'll have to type manually 71791. So between page views and transactional value, we have established 0.22. So what does this 0.22 signify? It signifies there's a positive relationship between these two variable page views and the total transactional revenue, right? Similarly, we'll carry out a correlation between time on site for some reason it is taking too long. Anyways, we'll change it back and total transactional value. So for time on site versus total revenue, this is another 0.17, which is another positive positive relationship between the variables. So what does it signify, this positive? So basically, if page views is going up, the total transactional revenue will go up. So that is positive, positive. A negative correlation will actually be like this: if page views go up, the total transactional value goes down. So in this case, we have both positive. So that means if both go up, the transactional revenue also goes up. And this can be further by how much value will transaction revenue go up if your page view go up, can be determined by doing a regression analysis. So we can also conduct a regression analysis by going in your data analysis tool pack, and here we will give L1 as your transactional revenue and input X range as your variables, right? So basically, I have already conducted this. So what you have to do is you have to select all the total transaction revenue rows and then you have to select an X range. You have to select uh, from G to H. That means from page views to your time on site. So you have to uh, take all the values in the rows of page view column and time on site column, and then click on labels, confidence level, and new worksheet, and you will get the summary of your regression. So I have basically done this regression, and this regression is in this Excel sheet, sheet number 7, sheet number 6. Yeah. So this regression will tell you a couple of things. First is how good your model is. Currently, it is showing zero point zero 0.04, which is totally, completely not reliable. So you can't rely on this regression model. But just for the explanation purpose, for understanding purpose, I'll say that at some times you get a good R square value, which is around above zero point 0.7, and that's when your model is able to predict based on the given variables. So considering this example, I will not advise you to take this model uh, for your merchandise store. So these are the variables. So basically these are the X variables, and basis on this, your output, which is your transactional revenue, can be determined. So if your R square value is greater than zero point 0.7, you can actually perform this by taking all these values. So intercept plus your page views, this is a coefficient. So this you multiply by your page views plus time on site multiply by time on site variable will actually give you a value, and this is the total transactional predicted value. So transactional revenue predicted is this 4.118, but since your R model is uh, not giving you a proper numbers, your it's less than 0.75, you cannot rely on this number. But if your R square is above zero point 0.7, then that's your prediction, and that's very much reliable. Again, to further understand these X variables, page views, and time on site, we look at p values. If these p values are less than 0.05, we reject those variables. So here, uh, if this value is greater than 0.05, we reject the variables. So page reviews and time on site both are less than zero point 0.05. This is a very small value, so it's showing E, and that's what regression model is explaining you, that uh, this is our correlation test, which was positively related to the output transactional revenue. The regression is telling you that it is not the complete picture. It's if you are able to increase the page views and time on site, that doesn't mean it will translate into better revenues. And then probably it is right. If just I'm more curious, it doesn't mean I'll buy it. I will, or maybe I'll not buy it in that much amount. If I look this relationship this way, that if I increase my time in the website, that doesn't mean I increase my transactional value towards the product, right? The product will still be of $5, $6, but I might take more amount of time to purchase that. So that is a common sense to understand that this is not the feature that we should be actually predicting our transactional value on, but it is giving you a positive linear relationship, positive correlationship, and that is telling you that we can take it as a correlation value but not as a regressional value. So having identified all this, basically the conclusion comes to this, that you can understand the insights from the data to an extent in which you can probably make certain changes, and you can improve your channels, or you can improve your worst performers and best performers, but not on an entirety basis, or not on a totality total basis, that you cannot find a variable that can be a game changer to your industry, but you can find a certain aspects of whatever you're doing to do it better. So that is what the conclusion of these three uh, statistical analysis is not meant for game changing the business entirely. It is only for improving what you're doing currently by having a more factual method. So again, to wrap it up, I'll just say that the digital marketing which you are doing for your organization, or which you are doing, you need to first understand which is your best performers and which is not your best performers. And then once you have identified your best and worst performers, then you can try to look for certain kind of linkages, so that you do those things more with the current budget that you are having. So if, let's say, you don't have high budget, then you can just look for the best performers, and then allocate that budget to those performers. Like here, referral is your best performer, so allocate your budget, marketing budget, more to your existing customers. Tell them to promote your product to other people by giving them referral bonuses. You can improve the organic search by understanding that how the organic search is happening, by understanding the features that your existing customers are using to purchase the product. So basically, if you look at the data sheet, we'll find that out of this 77,000, the transactions that have happened. So I'll take out where there's no transaction, and then I'll take a count of it. So total 1029 is the count. So basically, out of 77,000 data points, only 1000 data point is telling me that these are the users who have purchased from a store. So this is a skewed data, and you will need to further understand the customers profiling based on additional surveys, based on interviewing your existing customers, and then developing a strategy for your product. So organic search again needs to be improved, and you need to make sure that the contents in your website is more engaging. So it's easily even though the referral people are staying in more at your website, but the people from other channels like affiliates, direct display, or display still better, organic search, that can be improved, and social media. So probably you can try to improve by taking existing surveys from existing customers, and then improve your website as to what led them to buy. And then probably you can make a strategy for a different channel, so that you can identify your customers there. So same strategy doesn't work every time. You need to modify it as per what is the requirement of that group. So understanding the group, understanding the measures through your data points, because what gets measures get analyzed, what gets analyzed gets acted upon. So you need to have that full blown analysis for your organization, so that you spend effectively. So this money that goes for your marketing goes directly to the people who want to buy. So with this, I'll wrap up this episode of data analysis of Google Merchandise Store, and hope to get comments from you guys. If you liked it, please give like, comment, and if you have further things to clarify, and if you didn't like it, you can comment again. And please subscribe to the channel and spread the word that Atmanirbhar Pathshala will definitely help the community, local community, in becoming global powerhouse. Thank you.